that's when I lost like all faith in romantasy. I already had 0, but I'm like negative faith now. Like
Negative faith.
negative faith. Happy Tuesday, everybody. I'm Madeline Bookout.
And I'm Hannah Bookout.
And I'm Jamie Bookout.
Yay!
For one night and one night only.
Yes. And this is the Check This Book Out podcast where two sisters and a friend talk about fantasy and romance.
Today we're doing another book review.
Thanks for having me back, guys.
You're
Very
so
excited.
welcome to
honored.
be back.
Thank you. Oh, thanks.
You're so on. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
I
honored.
am so
You're
honored.
honored.
You
I'm
should
honored
be.
that you're honored to have me back honorly.
I realized that maybe saying you're welcome was a weird response.
What do you mean?
Like saying, you know, that's the comment. Like you say thank you and you say you're welcome. I'm like, it's like a gift.
It is a
Is
gift.
it not?
No, it is, but it sounds weird.
I am.
It sounds condescending to say you're welcome.
You're welcome.
In this one, I think so.
Okay.
In this one instance. Okay, anyways. Today we're doing a book review. Jamie joined us back in May. Back in May for a book review of Metal Slinger by Rachel Schneider, which was probably one of our most controversial episodes to date. And we are back with another episode covering Light Wielder, book 2 in the Metal Slinger series.
That's right.
Mhm.
Metal
Rachel
Slinger.
Schlinger. Rachel
Schlinger.
Schlinger.
Rachel Slinger.
Yeah, so just to kind of recap that episode, Hannah rated it 4 stars-ish.
In the beginning.
In the beginning.
In the beginning,
In the
there was
beginning.
light.
I have since decreased to like a 2.5.
Oh, that far?
That it fell again.
Yes.
On Goodreads, I gave it a 3, but I think I'd give it like a 2.5, 2.75
In hindsight?
in
Yeah.
hindsight.
After much discourse,
Mm-hmm.
Jamie gave it 1 star, and I gave it 2. And now we're back and better than ever. Well,
Mhm.
and worse than ever, perchance.
Mm.
To give you guys a brief summary of what the second book in the series is about, which is Light Wielder. Gosh, what is there even to say? It's
well-
about everything and absolutely nothing.
Could I tell you what the book is about?
No.
No.
Okay.
But we are set 5 years in
It's
the future.
4 years.
4 years in the future from the first book, Metal Slinger. And there are 2 main characters,
Jovi.
Jovi
Acre.
and Acre. And they have parted ways and they are now
They have
enemies.
parted ways.
I mean, yeah, right?
Yes.
So they have parted ways and they're enemies and they are amidst a intercontinental war.
yes.
And
Wow, Hannah's doing a really good job about
Mhm.
summarizing this.
Oh,
this
thank-
this is really good.
Thanks.
No, yeah,
Thank you.
Keep going.
for
keep going.
considering how long ago I
yeah,
read
yeah,
it.
yeah, No, it's good. Keep going.
So they're in an intercontinental war, and they are picking sides. Different countries are warring against each other. There's alliances, and it kind of all starts crumbling down. Kingdoms are falling, and one will end up coming up on top, sorta.
Not question mark.
Question mark? Literally though, actually question
Question
mark.
mark?
There's romance, and there's betrayal, and there's smut.
And a lot
And
of things
there's
that you
a
didn't
lot-
need to know. And
Right?
yeah.
That's kind of like
And
the
another
music
plot
explained.
twist? Question
my-
mark?
oh my
Question mark.
Even though this was supposed to be a duology,
yeah.
so I guess she's gonna keep going on in this
Yeah,
world.
we'll
Yeah.
see. We'll see.
Question mark?
Yeah.
A big old question mark.
Yep.
So, without further ado, everybody, grab your pet messer. Is that what we did last time too?
I don't know.
No.
Grab your metal slinger.
That's what we
and-
did last
yeah.
Touch your metal slinger. And grab your messer.
grab your pet messer, or whatever kind of bird he was, and find your comfy reading chair, please. I said please last time. Everybody, please. And let's check this book out.
Start with ratings, as we
Let's do it as we do. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. 0.5.
0.
0.5.
So are you not even gonna
Valid.
rate it on Goodreads?
Valid.
I honestly on Goodreads I just want to keep it as red. Just red.
But you're gonna still review it. You're just
Yeah,
not
I'll
gonna
review
rate it.
Mhm.
But if you give it 1 star, that pulls down the rating.
I'll give it 1 star and then in my review I'll say
Say
this
0.
is actually 0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can say that because you read the whole thing.
That's right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Why would I?
And you have rights.
That's
You
right.
do.
This is
You have
this
rights.
is America.
Mhm.
It is my
You have freedom of
first
speech.
amendment right. That is absolutely right.
Yeah.
0 stars.
Valid. 1 star is what I said.
I said 0.5.
There we go. There we go, guys.
Because I
That's
think you
right.
can give 0.5 stars on Fable.
You can.
Yeah, I can give a
yes.
half
Oh,
star on
okay.
Fable, which is
Yeah.
so lovely.
should we kind of give general thoughts and feelings on unpacking our ratings?
Yeah. General thoughts and feelings is this book shouldn't have been written.
How was it written?
Was
it
poorly.
even
The
written?
grammatical errors, the writing errors. I was like, what is happening?
The lack of plot foundation, the lack of direction.
Yeah, we kept going in
Actually,
circles.
the lack of character development.
Can we just start with the fact that like where the hell was the follow through?
Really?
The
That's-
last like 30 pages should have been like 50% of the book.
Yeah, I
like
agree.
the final like battle and everything, like that should have been like 50%.
I
Mhm.
agreed.
As you guys know, if you've actually read the book, the first book ends on a massive cliffhanger that we decided in the last episode didn't make sense, right? It ends with her basically betraying Acre, her mate, right?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
in a way that does not make any sense because this whole entire time, like basically the reveal is that she's an unreliable narrator. And the whole entire foundation of the book did not like make that an earned plot twist.
Mhm.
And so I was expecting, and our whole entire first episode was speculating how that maybe could redeem book 2 is if she really like was a horrible person and like the betrayal was true betrayal and what did it mean. We get no fucking answers.
Nope.
Nothing.
No
Nothing.
answers. Actually, you do get answers, but they also make no sense.
Yeah, that's the thing. The one thing that kept me reading this book the entire time is that she did drag out the answers. I don't know if you guys
Yeah,
noticed
no,
that.
it took her forever to give you like she was breadcrumbs the whole time.
Breadcrumbs.
But
Did they make
weren't
sense?
Good breadcrumbs.
Yeah, did they make sense? No. But I was like, wait, but she still hasn't answered this.
Yeah.
I need to know what
Yes.
that answer is. And eventually she did give some BS answer.
Yeah, so the answer
But I'm like,
I hated
okay.
it.
Yeah.
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 But she's unwilling to tell you why Jovi did that.
Mm-hmm.
And also,
Does
like,
Jovi know? Does Jovi
No,
know?
I don't think
She
Jovi
doesn't. Jovi doesn't know either.
I have to give her credit because at least she did a different point of views. At least we finally got like Acre's point of view with some stuff. Finally.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm like, I don't.
Which also, all of the things that I liked about Acre,
Out the window.
out the window, that guy is nuts. He's a crazy person.
I was
Then
like,
we
this
tried
is
to get-
cringe.
Then we get literally a Jovi 2.0 and Acre tries to be the unreliable narrator and like kidnaps like okay.
Yes.
Oh. Yeah.
At one point, when with Frederick, I was like, is this gonna be a throuple?
Yeah.
I'm kind of into it. I was like,
like,
this is cool. Frederick's a cool guy.
Biggest surprise and good surprise of the whole entire book.
Yeah, biggest.
Again,
That was like probably one of the better plot twists was that he was in with it
Right.
the whole time.
Right.
And I was like, cool, that's cool.
yeah.
And then everybody was fine with it.
yeah.
But I was like, okay, I
Mhm.
liked Frederick. I actually liked Frederick more than Acre.
Yeah, Loki, me
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
At least he's loyal.
Yeah.
It should have just been Frederick and Messer.
Right?
That's,
exactly.
That's what the book should have been.
Yeah.
Frederick and Messer.
And will I read the third book about Messer? No.
I'm not reading.
I don't give a
no,
crap.
I don't either.
I don't give a crap.
I was like, this is supposed to be done.
Done.
Right. Do I hate myself enough that I will? Yes.
Yeah, you probably
Yeah,
will.
I will.
If you come back and tell me it's good, I would read it.
It's not going to be.
I'm just
But, like,
PO'd. I'm PO'd about the end.
Yeah.
It's crazy because, like, remember when we talked about when we did Metal Slinger, how, like, Aurora just disappeared? And then
Mhm.
she just randomly shows back up again.
Yeah,
And
Girl's,
she's married to
obviously,
Kai?
Yeah, what?
And she still had no purpose.
No purpose.
Nothing.
None.
She just showed up
She
at
just
that one
showed up.
meeting.
That's it.
Yeah,
She's
and
like,
she literally
"Sweetie."
looks like she's been abused or whatever.
Yeah.
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 Stupid.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Can I read the review?
Yes, Jamie has a 1-star review that she'd like to read.
It's really short. I just couldn't stop laughing.
No,
It made me
please.
giggle.
I haven't read
please.
any reviews of this book except
I haven't
for
either.
Mariana, that book talker. She says in her review, like, this made me want to drink
Damn
bleach.
it, that's literally what I was.
Oh, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
it's okay.
I'm
Oh,
so,
I
no,
didn't
no,
hear what you
yeah,
said.
yeah,
no,
yeah.
it
You know, you
just-
read it. You read it.
I
you
didn't
read
hear
it.
what Mountain said. Read it.
It
for
made me giggle, and it says, "Damn, this kind of made me want to drink bleach." And
Yeah.
that's, yep.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
want to scrub it from my brain.
Yeah.
But actually, I think that it's important for people to hate books.
Yeah. Put them in their place.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I think that genuinely everybody loved Metal Slinger so much that Rachel Schneider like couldn't learn anything from that experience.
What are the ratings? Like, what's the general?
I think it's like a 3.8 now
compared
overall.
to what's Metal Slinger?
So Light Wielder has a 3.87, and Metal Slinger has 4.2. So it's fallen
that's a steep
dramatically.
She's fallen from grace. Yeah.
It's just so disappointing because we were talking about all the ways that this book really could have been redeemed.
Mm-hmm.
And like it really could have been a badass book. And it was really disappointing.
Yeah, instead it was like a total dumpster fire.
Yeah.
Like
no redeeming qualities.
Yeah. So I think we've gotten our strong feelings out in the air. How we normally structure book club episodes is we will do writing style, talk about the plot, talk about characters and character development, talk about like themes throughout the book, and world building. A lot of the times those topics end up meshing together. But I figured we could start with writing style because that's usually always pretty distinct. Yep. So we already talked about the dual POV. I do think that added value in the sense that it kind of made the story more interesting. Mm-hmm. But really, like, that's really all I got from it.
Yeah. It was necessary. Like, how else would she have written the book? It would have been totally boring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really would have been beneficial if we would have just had, like, a couple chapters of Kai's POV.
I totally
agree.
It would have been very beneficial. Because, again, that was another plot where it popped up and then it popped out and that was it. Mm-hmm. And it was whatever.
Yeah. Because we got no explanation really for Kai's motivations, his plan.
Right. Nothing that happened after they left
Literally
4 years ago. Like they left together and then now they're enemies.
Yeah. That would have added a lot to the story.
It makes me so mad because the questions that we had at the end of book 1 were so valid. Like, how did she get kidnapped? Why did she get kidnapped? Who was in on it? Is Kai's dad a bad guy? Is Kai a bad guy? Who's in charge of the rebellion?
Question mark.
None of that really ended up being satisfactory answers. Like, Kai's dad did still end up being a bad guy, which is fine.
A bad Kai.
A bad Kai, if you will.
Kai was a bad guy.
But like Jovi's memories, I thought for sure she was going to have all of her memories and that she was playing him so hard, which would have been great.
Yeah.
It would have been so great.
Fucking commit. Rachel Schneider, this is a horrible book.
And then she's having dreams of her childhood. And then nothing comes of that. She's just having dreams.
Yeah.
Like, make them mean something.
Like,
homie, do something with it.
Oh, gosh. Character-wise, one thing that really pissed me off is we almost regressed with Jovi.
No, we did regress.
Jovi actually had no personality in this book. Because I in Metal Slinger, I was like, oh, Jovi's not a bimbo. She's asking questions. Like, she wants to learn. Like, she's an active character in the world, exploring and wanting to get to know Acre and his kingdom. This book, even though she had a quote-quote mission to redeem her relationship with Acre, but also stop the war that she started, she had no personality.
Girl, she had no idea what she was doing.
She had no idea.
She had zero direction. Like,
she was just like, oh, well, I kind of want to stop this war, but like Acre probably hates me, but I'm just gonna like fight these battles.
It's
crazy. And not know how to use my powers. Like, even though I've had them for 5 years.
Yeah, and I'm gonna beat myself up in the entire, like, throughout the process. What?
Yeah, I am gonna hate myself. That's the one thing she did, is she really hated herself.
Which was a total flip from the first book.
Yeah.
Where she was like, I'm a badass, and I betrayed him.
You remember how
I'm almighty.
You remember how I said in the last episode that basically Rachel was gonna have to rewrite her character because the whole entire personality that she had before was apparently fake, right? She didn't end up doing that.
Yeah.
She failed.
The craziest part was when she was like, I wish the original plan of me talking to him and having us like take over the kingdom together. She was like, I wish that's what I would have done.
Yeah,
you never thought about that?
Yeah.
Like, you never thought about going to Acre and being like, listen, what if you and I did this together?
You didn't even give him a chance, girl.
Yeah.
You didn't even give him a chance.
And she acknowledged that. And I was just so pissed off about it.
Yeah.
Like, you're an idiot. You're actually an idiot.
Yeah. And she's like, I feel betrayed. I'm like, girl, you had, like, you were going to kill his dad. And he also felt betrayed by you. So, like, of course. God.
Going back to writing style a little bit. This might go down as the worst battle scene written in fucking history. What the fuck even happened? What happened?
No, nothing. Nothing happened.
All I can picture are two fucking ogres stepping around on buildings.
Which also, was there even a mention of those in Metal Slinger?
Yes.
I just
very, very briefly.
okay, because I was reading it and I was like, we have giants now? Trolls?
Yeah.
What is going on?
I remember them being briefly mentioned.
Okay.
Being in that other kingdom.
Oh,
the one that
okay.
Acre's kingdom was enemies with. I do remember it very briefly being mentioned. Like they were in the woods or cliffs.
Yes,
Yeah.
okay.
But oh my gosh, like what really hit the nail on the head with this book being so bad was how poorly written that battle scene was.
And the whole book, actually.
I know, but specifically the battle scene pissed me off so much.
I don't
What
think
the
I've
hell
ever
happened?
seen a more useless character
You know what?
in a battle either.
Oh
Who?
yeah, you know what really pissed me off?
Jovi.
That she just kept
Oh.
getting like drugged and they constantly was getting chloroformed. It happened to her like 3 times in this book, and I was like, "Oh, here we go.
Oh my
Jovi's
gosh.
eyes are closing, and now we've missed 6 days." Great.
Yeah, I found that Rachel's descriptions of things was even more poor in this book than in the last one.
Horrendous.
Did not know how to describe action at all.
At all.
And I would find myself kind of like going back and rereading sentences and being like, who is where and what is going on?
I'm like, who are you?
Like I had a picture of what the kingdom looked like a little bit.
Yeah.
Like Acre's kingdom. But by the time I was reading that entire battle, I'm like, this looks like nothing. Like I can't picture a single thing.
All I can
Where
picture
are
was the
they?
wall on the outside of the
Just
city.
the wall.
And
Yeah.
it's so unfortunate because we talked about like kind of how different the world building was. There was no world building in this book.
None.
Nothing.
Again, like
Yeah.
kind of
Again,
regressed.
we're going in like the book literally went in circles.
Mhm.
Same conversations that Acre and Jovi were having, just circle.
Yeah.
Circle.
You know, another scene that's like, to your point, really poorly described and you can't envision it.
All of it.
Yeah. I mean, the scene at the beginning where she, like that other battle where she's in the cave.
Oh,
and it's
with
like
Frederick.
Yeah. And the whole thing is like, how
Horrible.
did she get there?
Yeah.
Like they're laying in the grass on a cliff.
That apparently was like unreachable.
Yeah. So they like, and then the timing of it didn't make sense. I was like, wait, they've been out there for like multiple days.
Yeah.
But she doesn't describe how they got there. And then we're in the cave and all of a sudden there are thousands of people in this cave.
Uh-huh.
Huh?
And it's pitch black, and apparently they like end up going through this small cave
Yeah.
exit.
Yeah.
You know how she's like lit up?
And how did they make it out alive?
You know how she's like lit up during that scene? I'm picturing her like a glow stick.
No, I'm thinking
Like I'm
glowworm.
picturing Frederick like cracking her back and she's just like glowing.
Yeah, I know. And then Acre's there and he's like, God, she's
So
depressed.
beautiful.
And where's Acre standing? Because apparently there's a billion people in this cave trying to kill them. Where
Yeah,
is
how did
Acre
he not get stabbed and killed?
Well, he's invisible.
I know, but still.
But still, like, where are you standing?
He's just hanging.
Yeah,
from
that
the
was such a
ceiling.
poorly described scene.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I've ever read anything quite like it.
It was bad. It was bad.
Honestly, guys, I hated this book so much that I didn't even read the smut. I was like so over it. I was
Oh,
like,
see, that's the only thing I paid attention to.
Yeah.
I was like going. I was like,
See, unfortunately, unfortunate you missed that. That was the best part of the book.
well, I read the book like the chair one.
Oh, yes, that's what I'm referring to.
Oh yeah, okay.
Chair one. Oh, with the threesome.
yeah,
Yeah,
with
yeah,
the
yeah,
threesome.
yeah,
Yeah.
With Frederick.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, because I was like, oh my god, it's Frederick. But
Yeah,
anything
I
was
read
like,
that.
I was like,
I don't
No,
remember any
actually,
of the other scenes.
I agree with you. Like, there was a scene on the stairs and I just went,
yeah, exactly.
Oh, that was so BS.
I
That
was
was
like,
so
whatever.
cringe.
this
Yeah.
whole thing was BS.
It was all cringe. The one with Frederick was the best one.
I was
Yeah.
like, she has a startling ability to write a unique scene.
Yeah.
Like, in that regard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 times she's done that to me.
Mm-hmm.
I said, but girl, you should stay on Wattpad.
She would really shine there.
She would, and she probably
would
did
shine
start
better
there.
elsewhere.
She probably started there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she should have seen great success if
She would have seen great success.
Yes.
Great success, yes. Another thing, and it's something we did talk about in the first episode, but there was something that like genuinely made me so upset when I was reading it, is that she described something as having Masonic architecture.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And I'm literally thinking to myself, I'm like, Masonic architecture? You mean like Freemasonry? And I'm like, girl, there is not Freemasonry in Alaha or like whatever Acre's kingdom is.
Yeah.
So I'm like, just little things like that normal fantasy writers like stay away from, or an editor would catch.
Mhm.
You know, you just because your readers know what that means, like you should still describe it.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. It's just poor writing.
Yeah. You know what also? Acre's friend Wells and his wife, like they were huge parts at the beginning of the book.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
they just disappeared. Question mark?
What
Dude,
happened to
I
that
did-
baby?
I know, right?
Right. Like, oh my God, she's pregnant and he's my best friend and he's kind of in on it. Like he's telling.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He's angry. He's trying to like invoke Acre's
Right.
feelings, like
But she's
fix
still
it.
talking to Jovi.
Mhm.
Jovi's like, I'll give you sanctuary.
Mhm. Then they disappear.
And then they disappear.
Such
Like,
a
where were they in the
such a
battle?
useless
What
book.
happened?
It's a literal waste of paper.
So many trees died for this shit.
No, literally. The fact
And
that
I'm
I had purchased
pissed.
part of that tree.
Oh gosh. All right. Any other comments about specifically writing style?
I thought that there was a major pacing issue. I got to 60% and probably put it away for a week because I was, one, bored as hell, but two, I was like, the first 60% I thought kind of had regular things that actually kept me interested enough. As you said, she dropped these little breadcrumbs throughout,
Mhm.
and I was like, oh my God, we're finally gonna get an answer. We're finally gonna get an answer. And then you hit 60% and you're like, this is dull, because there was just a major drop off, honestly, after they like truly reconciled.
Yes.
It just lost all momentum that it had
Yes.
built until maybe the last 5%.
I wanted them to loathe each other. Like,
Mhm.
I wanted them to like meet on the battlefield and like fight it out.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah, what an anticlimactic reunion.
No, really.
yeah, like just all of it. Like,
It was not, and there's nothing enemies about it.
yeah.
I wanted like an argument. I wanted like a huge
Yes.
fight.
I wanted
Yeah.
a magical argument.
I wanted them both to use their powers against each
Mhm.
other
Dude.
and then be like, I can't.
Meeting on a battlefield or something.
Why?
Exactly.
Tell me, and I've already said it, but like, tell me why none of these, like all of these characters are so powerful, but none of them use their powers except for Messer
Messer.
and Frederick.
Right?
Yes, I know.
Like what? She's learning how to use her powers on the beach
5 years later,
5 years later.
to warm
Mhm.
water
Yeah.
Yeah.
because
Are
she's
you
cold.
kidding me?
She should have named this a different book besides Metal
Oh my
Slinger and
God.
Light Wielder because
They're the two most pointless.
Yeah.
he never
abilities.
did any metal slinging again.
Mhm.
Yeah. So frustrating.
They
I
could have won that battle so easily. She could have just
Mhm.
Blinded everybody.
Oh my God.
He
He
could
could have
have
had an
their
Aelin
shit.
Galen
He
Thinius
could have
situation.
ripped everyone's swords out of their hands. Like,
Yeah, like that's what that power is for.
Yeah.
You're literally made for battle. Like that
Mhm.
is your power. And then you guys are both running away from everything.
Mhm.
Like, oh my God, there's something scary. Run, Jovi, run.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
you're the queen and you're running away from your people that are dying. That's a really
Uh-huh.
good move.
Yeah, that looks really cute.
Yeah.
That's so cute for you.
It's so cute.
I will say one thing about going into plot. I cannot believe. Maybe this is a thing authors do, but I was really surprised that the opening scene was not the bonus chapter at the end of Metal Slinger.
I was thinking
I
the exact
also
same
thought
thing. That was
that.
like 5 chapters in.
Yeah, I was like, wait,
Wait.
why are we? Whoa.
Yeah, and what was that fuck ass letter? Y'all
Letter.
remember? She's like writing a letter in the prologue.
Oh, and then she
Oh.
burns.
Yeah, and then
it.
she burns it. And I was like, what?
Like she was gonna apologize to Acre or something.
Well, what was the point of that at all?
I guess just to reveal her personality switch. That she was like, oh wait, maybe I do feel bad. Yeah, I don't know what the letter was. That was kind of weak.
It was weak. It serves no purpose.
Mhm.
Can I say can I do a spoiler? Are we at that part yet?
Oh, we were
Oh,
so
yeah.
in spoilers.
okay, great.
Spoilers.
The thing that was craziest to me is that she and Messer are supposed to be like best friends, and then Messer dies, and Acre's like, you have to win this war for him. If I watched you get an arrow pierced through your body, I would be, first of all, if I had magic, I would be so livid that everybody would be fucking dead.
Oh
Mhm.
my
Sorry,
God.
I would be pulling a Khaleesi from Game of Thrones. Like, shit would be burning. And she's just like, oh my God, Messer's dead.
my Shayla.
That's it. Like,
yeah.
girl,
Yeah.
what? You're not gonna grieve?
Dude,
Yeah.
most disloyal bitch out there.
No,
Yeah.
literally. She's like, oh no, Messer. And then
Yeah.
Acre's like, we need to win for him. And she's like, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, mm-mm.
Starting at the beginning of the plot, when it opens with her being like the general of her army, and she's like, all my men are dying in this pointless war.
And they all
that
hate
I
me
started.
because I'm a mate with the enemy.
Yeah. And like, I feel so guilty because they're here for me. And like, what do I even believe in? I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
That's a bad look, girl.
Yeah.
But then Acre's like, your people love you and they'll
Yeah.
go to war for you. So I'm like, what is it? Do they hate you or do they love you?
Yeah.
Yeah, because the proof is in the pudding, bro.
Mm-hmm.
All those soldiers were looking at you with disdain.
Right.
So
Right. And she's like beating herself up. She's like, I'm no sleep. Battle, no sleep. Another battle, another
Oh,
battle.
I'm going to sleep. Oh, I'm going to sleep again. Oh,
Mhm.
but I can't sleep.
I can't
Mhm.
let myself sleep.
Yeah.
I'm so tired.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just go sleep in my single tent where everybody else has to sleep in the mud. Like, yeah, of course they fucking hate you.
Yeah. I don't know if I missed this in the first book or what, but I did not catch on until like the middle of the book that the disappearing man, the man that can like teleport,
The general.
The
The
disappearing
general.
man.
that was her stepfather.
Sam?
No, nobody knew that.
I had no idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was that supposed to be a secret?
That was supposed to be a secret. Yeah.
They did a
Okay,
bad
that just
job of...
yeah, that was really poorly executed.
No, that was something that how Jovi's dad died and the fact that Jovi's mom killed her dad and all that reveal was so confusing because I was
So
like,
confusing.
whereas I was supposed to already know some of that? Like that's how I felt.
Yeah, that was one of the breadcrumbs that she kind of like stringed along until the end. And again, it was one of those BS answers. I'm like, that is the most pathetic plot.
Yeah, and she
bomb
didn't
ever.
treat this whole entire time, she's not treating this guy like it's family.
Yeah. But then at one point she's like, yeah, this is my father. Like,
Yeah.
Yes.
we're
Yeah.
close. Like,
No,
again,
you're
like,
not.
I,
Are
like,
you?
I had no idea that was her
No,
father.
you're not.
Never
Yeah, and
would've
he's
guessed.
also not treating you like a daughter. Because every time he's concerned about her, it's I have to like report this to your mother.
Mm-hmm.
It's not I care about you and I love you because
Yeah.
you're my child.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think that honestly, the main thing from the beginning of the plot standpoint is we have that stupid useless battle or whatever, and then she goes home. And then she gets home and we find out that we find out one, that the bunnies aren't even cute.
That was honestly the best part.
Yeah, we had these
Was-
rabid bunnies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and if they would have used those more in battle, I know
Dude,
they
that
used
would've
it
been
like,
cool.
but it would have been sick as hell. But she
But-
was like, I was like, what do you mean these rabbits have vampire teeth? I was like, what's going on?
But the funny thing is they were used in the battle at the very end. And it was the most
Oh, yeah.
fuck-ass
Yeah.
imagery in my mind. Just a fucking, like, rabbits just
They're
running
bad.
out of fields.
Yeah, when they haven't eaten.
I'm just
Girl.
imagining, like, 1,000 bunnies.
Imagine if all
Hopping
those
across the
soldiers had
field.
showed up with carrots. Like, could have easily
Yeah.
we could have
We
easily
planned
avoided.
for
Yeah,
this.
and they should have, because if everybody knows that there are feral rabbits and
Do we need to start carrying carrots to war? Is that
Yeah.
what you're saying?
yeah, we need sword
A little
carrots.
pocket
Yeah.
carrot, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was like, oh, you would think that based on like the cursing, dang rabbits or whatever, there'd be the like cute little rabbits and
Mhm.
wherever what is her kingdom called? Macero? Wait, no, that's a
Macero.
It's a restaurant.
What is it called? A Malaya, like Malaya or something.
Yeah, Malaya.
Melee.
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 Thank you.
Thank you. Macero was close.
We
Yeah.
still never figured out where the dang rabbits came from.
Yeah, it's just a curse word in her
Yeah.
country.
Well, it's just like the rabbits are evil, and so she's like, "Oh, dang rabbits! Like,
Yeah, I
I have to
guess.
deal with these dang rabbits going into my house every day."
I guess.
I guess, I don't know.
Also, did she not describe her mother's home where she was living in Melee as like a manor house, like a
Yes.
house in the middle of the city because her mom loved to be amongst her people? But then there also was a palace. There
Yeah.
also
I was
a
always
palace.
assuming it was like a manor, like a big manor, but just in the middle of the city.
But I
I
also
swear there were
thought,
palace scenes.
if we're talking about like her imagery and like describing things, if it was this huge palace mansion,
Yeah.
let's say it was just like a mansion, all that was described was this little cute kitchen that her mom would bake in, and then an upstairs where everyone's rooms were. Okay, so I need like a little 2-story house, like, but apparently this was like a huge mansion.
Mm-hmm.
It made no sense to me. I thought she kept going back and forth like this was a quaint manor. My mom was humble. She's retired and she wants to be amongst her people. But then there also was a palace, apparently. Was it the same building? Because what's her name, the sister? What's the sister's name again?
Benedict.
Sorry
Bo.
to be.
It's Bo.
Bo? Benedict.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Bo apparently lived separate from Jovi for a little
In a
bit.
separate room.
No, at first they lived in separate places. Remember? Because she needed to be alone out of the city because everyone's emotions were driving her crazy.
Oh, yes.
And they were like bows living at the palace.
So maybe they're
Apparently they're two separate places.
maybe there is a palace, but she's living in the queen lives in the city because she wants to be with her people.
I think that
But
Jovi lives
also-
in the palace with Bo.
No, because she lived with her mom. I'm telling you, this was like a total plot hole. I'm telling you.
Well, I believe you because
It made no sense.
these kind of details, I was just like, you know what?
I would just let it happen.
Yeah.
Just let it be. Let it be bad.
Yeah.
I can't fix it.
Mm-mm.
I tried. I tried to give her the feedback 1 month before the book came out.
I bet you there is somebody out there who's gonna write a fanfic about this book, and it's gonna be
No.
a million times better
Oh.
than this shit.
I would love to read that. Actually.
I know it for a fact.
I'd like to read that.
I'd like
fans, it's
somebody
in
to
your
just rewrite
hands.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Same
Yeah.
bones.
It's probably
same
like a
bones.
huge copyright issue, but someone on Wattpad should pick that up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just on fanfiction.com
Yeah.
or
Unfinished-
AO3.
Unfinished project.
Yeah.
I wonder if
WIP, if you will.
Is that a thing? Like, do people like rewrite books?
Absolutely.
Wait, I need to discover these.
Yeah, I do too. Put it on like a bulletin board. Books that need to be rewritten.
Make that a shelf on your Goodreads profile.
I'm gonna jump forward. No, I'm gonna try not to. I'm gonna wait.
Can I jump into the next kind of thing I was
Yes,
talk
the
about?
next scene. if you
Jovi's
will.
relationship with her mom.
Random.
Random. I'm like, how are you that close to your mom? You don't know her.
Yeah, you've known her for 5 years, and all of those 5 years you've spent at war.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well, but remember her mom like held her the day when she came home after leaving Acre.
Yeah.
yeah, how awkward.
Yeah.
When she threw
A
up.
stranger.
And that was kind of like the first breadcrumb where it's like, okay, no, she doesn't have any of her memories. Like, she
Yes.
does know nothing.
Yeah.
She literally met her mom essentially 5 years ago or 4 years ago.
Yeah, I will say it. Like, that just made me so mad
Mm-hmm.
because she made this whole entire decision. She didn't even believe Kai that she was a princess. What?
Yeah.
What? So that whole thing where she finds out that she's actually a princess was real?
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
Yeah. I don't
Why
know.
would you do that? Like, I think Kayla Books on Instagram, she's like this beautiful Canadian woman, and she reads
Goals.
she reads a ton of romantasy, and frankly likes a lot of books that I probably wouldn't like, but she loved Metal Slinger. And that was her biggest complaint about this book was like, you had what they think is one of the most epic betrayals ever. And she was like, she loved that about it. And then she was like, and then you come into this next book and Jovi's not even a bad person.
Mm-hmm.
Jovi should be such a bitch.
Yeah.
Oh.
Jovi should have been like so evil and
Mhm.
corrupt and just absolutely horrible.
Mm-hmm.
And
It should have been like her and Bo, like
Yeah.
just screwing everybody over.
Yes.
Bloodthirsty.
yes. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Imagine if Bo was a horrible person too. Like,
Yeah.
I would have loved that.
Yeah, because she had that
Total
rope
anti-hero.
and-
Yes. And then she tries to make Acre into this like horrible person.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like we saw snippets of that with Acre being in like a position of power and having to like put on a different face we talked about. But Acre genuinely being kind of horrible when he's living at home and like having to do these horrible things, which they don't really tell us what those things are.
Yeah.
But apparently Acre's like nasty and horrible.
And he
Why?
sucked at his job.
Yeah. and
Apparently, he just was a horrible.
yeah, he's a horrible prince.
Prince.
So much so that he gave up his crown.
Yeah. He was
Yeah.
like, I'm actually a horrible general.
Yeah.
Oops.
What do you mean? Like, why are we switching his character too?
Mm-hmm.
He should be devastated and heartbroken
Yeah.
That was one thing that really
and
pissed me
so in
off.
love.
Yeah.
And that should have been like when he does give up his crown, like that should have been a leverage point for Kai.
Oh, bro.
Again,
Imagine.
another great opportunity.
Imagine.
Mm-hmm.
What do we think? Do we think AI wrote this book?
No, AI would have done a better job.
Yeah.
And I hate AI.
Mm-hmm.
With all the writing errors, the grammar issues.
That's fair. That's fair. Could have done a better job.
AI would have done better than that.
Honestly, the next big thing that happens is Messer.
Frederick.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Messer encouraging her to F around, if you will.
Yeah.
Also, we find out that Acre's been like fighting the bond and visiting her in her sleep for 5 years. The fact
Yeah.
that didn't occur to her that he was doing that though, like, why not? Why wouldn't he?
I don't know.
Because he hates
And then,
her.
but she makes it out when she finds out. She's like, this whole time he's been using it to spy on me. Well, if he was using it to spy on you and like being an effective spy, then maybe he would have made progress in the war.
Why didn't she think of that? She's the one that was betraying him. She was the spy originally. Why didn't she want to spy on
'Cause
him?
she's
No, because she's actually
stupid.
actually a really good person.
Yeah.
and
She's
she
hurting.
could never do that to him.
She's hurting.
He can never
She
invade
loves
his
him.
privacy like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was always planning on coming for you, Jovi. Bro.
When she has dreams of them as like children, I'm like, oh my god.
I actually thought that was the sweetest part of
It
the whole
was,
book.
but I'm like, so you wake up and do nothing about it. Cool.
Yeah, and she also had these dreams like they were too convenient.
Mm-hmm. I will say the one time I did like where Acre showed up was when she was in the war camp. She was exhausted, like just passed out,
Mhm.
and he went to go visit her. And there was that one warrior that snuck in to try to assassinate her.
Yeah.
that was a good scene.
That was a
thought
great
so.
scene.
I thought so
scene.
too.
Yeah,
I was
I
like,
like
okay,
that.
I can get behind that.
I think that was actually one of the one times he did his metal slinging.
mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, he slung the metal.
He
for
slung
sure.
Crazy.
metal during the Frederick scene too.
Yeah, he did.
Did we? What did he do?
Because basically she's in the middle of that business and he like pops in and gets really pissed. All of the metal in the room
was
goes
banging on his
flying
force
at
field.
yeah.
But
That's right.
he's-
That's
yeah.
right. That's right.
And so Frederick obviously knows he's there.
Mhm.
Yeah. I did blush.
That was the best scene.
That was the
In
best
the whole
scene.
book.
I did blush. Also the fact that the next day Bo's just like, oh yeah, so was my brother there last night?
That was weird as heck.
I was like, why did you even feel the need to bring it up?
Yeah. Ugh.
Also, a character that was introduced that I don't think got enough credit was Irene. Whatever
Who the
her name
hell is
was,
that?
His wife.
Oh. Yeah, she
Mhm.
did play a role.
She played a huge
Yeah.
like she's probably the reason that they ended up being successful because she at first I was like
Camouflage then.
Yes.
Or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah. She
and she
played,
turned herself into Bo.
Bo.
Yeah.
at first I was like, man, she's gonna suck. And then she ended up being really baller.
Mm-hmm.
And then again, she disappeared.
Yeah, she was
Yeah,
actually kind of
just-
cool.
she straight up left.
Yeah. Bye.
Yeah, and that's what. And she's like, "You're a horrible person, Acre."
Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of are, bro.
Yeah, girl. You tell him because he is.
Mm-hmm.
They both are. They deserve each other. Go find better, Irene.
She was like the one redeeming character. Like she was the only like actually good character.
Yeah, her
Yeah.
and
Like
Esther.
morally. I mean morally.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought she actually served a lot of purpose in this book,
Mm-hmm.
and that she was a good person.
Yeah, I felt really bad for her.
I did too. I was like, dude, just let her go home.
Yeah.
And then she offered herself up. She was like, I can do it.
He was
Yeah.
like weirdly possessive over her. He's like, I feel bad for her. Like I'm really like discarding her, but also like she can't leave.
But I'm mean.
What?
Yeah.
Maybe
wrong
he
with
just like
you?
wanted to like protect her.
Maybe. I guess like she couldn't go home because the king was still there. You know, like he was still an active player, but he was never there. Also, yeah. The king was never there.
Yeah.
He
I
was
know.
harvesting his metal. Oh, guys,
Which also
I cannot
we're-
would get into that.
No, I
plot
know. Let's continue.
point. Yeah.
Do we have anything we want to say about Frederick? The Frederick scene.
Just love Frederick. He made me giggle.
I thought it was interesting that at first his character was silent
Mm-hmm.
and very vague, just with a big mystery.
Silent companion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
silent companion. He kind of was just like watching her. I was very confused when it was like, oh, my mom sent him to watch me. Like,
yeah.
I noticed he was following me around, but then I asked my mom, and she was like, "Yeah, I was sent. Like, I've been having people watch you to protect you."
Yeah, but also that didn't make any
What a-
sense.
No,
What a-
because I think that's what she just assumed.
Yeah, I know, but she like
No,
had
but
talked
the-
to her mom about
the
it. Her mom,
stepfather said that was why he was there.
yeah, I'm like,
Somebody
But-
verified it.
No,
Yeah.
yes, you're right, but I don't think the mom or the stepfather realized that maybe they were talking about Frederick, because I think that they
No,
did.
that's what we're saying.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, right. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
with you.
But then like Frederick was always around. Like he had apparently infiltrated the Melee army
Which baller.
beyond 4 years ago.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
years
Like
and years
10
and
Yeah,
years.
yeah.
Very long ago. So that was very convenient, first of all. But then Jovi said Frederick's following her around, but like, yeah, like we've been having people follow her around. Like no one stopped to think like, oh, Frederick is the person we like hired. Nobody like stopped to think that.
Yeah.
So
Who
while
is this
yes, I was
guy?
like, oh, he was a traitor. I didn't see that coming. In retrospect, I was like, you guys are all freaking idiots. Like, what do you mean you never caught that?
Yeah, also the fact that Acre put him in the Melee army to be a spy, and then after Jovi betrays him, says, hey, I need you to spy on Jovi and like watch over Jovi. And then Frederick ends up loving Jovi so much that he becomes loyal to her.
Right? Everyone sucks at their job.
No, they all suck.
Everyone sucks.
Nobody's good at anything in this book. Not her mom's not even good at anything.
Yeah.
What a missed opportunity.
Her mom was also just such a vague,
Yeah.
pointless character. All she did was bake shit.
Yeah, zero development there.
Yeah,
and then at the end of the
zero.
book, you found out that she can like cause people pain.
Yeah. The only person
of
who
nowhere.
like got shit done
I don't even
was
remember
Kai.
that. But even
But Kai only got like maybe 2 sentences worth of plot in this book.
Yeah.
But he's the only one that I guess is still like conspiring and doing it well.
Yeah.
So fucking stupid. This book is so stupid. It is so stupid that like the whole entire Kai thing, her being in love with him and like actually at the time was in love with him, and her not knowing anything about her past, and her and Kai conspiring and having this rebellion, and then she doesn't talk to him for 4 years.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. She's like, I kind of regret what I did with Kai.
Yeah.
But now Kai are like on opposite sides of this war that we started together.
And it's that scene where he's meeting, where they're talking about like the plan, and everybody's like, oh, we don't trust Kai. Like, I don't know if we can trust him. And then Acre's like, hello, Kai, please take my crown.
Yeah.
You didn't think to discuss that with anybody?
Yeah.
Okay. Stupid.
Let me get this straight.
Stupid.
I want to make sure I have this right in my head because this was the most BS explanation for what happened in the first book.
Oh, you mean besides the other 430 pages?
Yes. But of all the BS, I think this was the most BS.
No,
The
I have
BSs.
the BS of BSs. I hope you say it. But we haven't really gotten there yet.
Ooh,
So
I'm ready.
There are so many things in the first book that I'm just like, that was the explanation? It just ended up being nothing, you know?
yeah.
Like,
One of them was that the first book, the whole thing apparently was that Kai and Jovi were like, we want to get on land. Like, the Aloha people need to be on land. We're going to start this war. We have to kill the king of Acre's kingdom in order to do that. One, I don't really know why. Why did they target him out as the bad guy? How did they know him? They'd never been on land before. You know, that was one thing.
Yeah, how did they even know that Acre's dad was the one they were supposed to be targeting?
Right.
Because
Exactly.
apparently Aloha lives on this bubble
Right.
with no outside information.
all they get is grain and food and cows.
Yeah,
Also,
and
cows
a
living in
market
the
day
fucking
once
ocean
a year.
that kills me.
Yeah, right. They're like manatees.
Yeah. It drove me nuts that once we started the second book, Jovi was like, yeah, Kai and I don't talk anymore. We're
Yes.
not in love. Like, we started this war together, but immediately I moved to Melee after I betrayed Acre. And Melee is fighting this war by itself against Acre's kingdom's ally. I can't remember the name of it.
Strauss?
Strauss.
Strauss.
Something. Yeah, Strauss.
And that's
Strauss.
where, what's her name was from?
Yes.
The
Irene
Princess.
or whatever
Yeah,
her
Irene,
name
yeah.
was.
So Melee is fighting Strauss. I'm like, where's Kai's? Where's the Aloha? Aren't Melee and Aloha allies?
Right.
No.
No, that's what I thought
Aloha
too.
Was nowhere. for the
Aloha's
first
on
part of
its
the book.
own situation.
Its own journey. So I'm like,
Which
this
doesn't make
really
any
is
sense. Like,
exactly. I'm like, what is the point of this war? And that's what Jovi asked herself. What's the point? I'm like, how have you guys been fighting this war for 4 freaking years?
Yeah. And then the fact that Melee wasn't willing to attack Strauss because they didn't think that their battle was with Strauss. I'm like, is this literally like just a war because you betrayed Acre and he's pissed?
Yes.
Yeah, literally.
Like literally that's the only thing. Also, maybe this is just me not remembering correctly, but I really thought that Acre's dad died at the end of book 1.
No,
I
she
did
just-
too.
I kind of assumed that he didn't. I just assumed that she took his powers. That's also a huge. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
That's also a huge plot point. How he just can absorb people's powers now and doesn't have just one but 3.
He never lost
Before-
his magic. What was the
before-
point
Because
of the
you
whole
can
first
get
book?
it back by killing people.
Mhm.
Before we even get there, I want to
What?
say like that's one of the last things that I want to touch because I have so many feelings about it.
Same.
So,
We'll get to it.
yeah.
One thing that really just does confuse me is like, where did Acre's dad being the bad guy come from in the first book? Where did that start? Why did they pinpoint him as like, he's the source of evil? We have to kill him in order for the Aloha to get on land. Did I miss something, or was that a plot?
I feel like there was
hole?
a conversation between him and Acre where, first of all, you could just tell by his tone that he was kind of a
Was
bad
it that
guy, but I feel like
Ren
he.
knew? But Ren
Or
was
was it
also kind of a
Ren?
bad guy too.
I think Ren was more of a bad guy than Acre's dad.
Well, Acre's
until
dad.
the end, I think. Yeah.
Acre's
Yeah,
dad
true.
like really effed with Acre's mom.
That's very fair.
Did Acre's mom know Ren, and that's how she got onto Alaha?
I got nothing.
All I remember is she like almost died. She half died because of that disease, or no, from being
Yeah,
magic
getting her
sucked
magic
out.
stolen.
And then some like maid or something helped get her on a supplies shipment to Alaha.
Was it Bo's mom? I think Bo's mom is the one that helped her.
Bo's mom.
Oh,
think.
speaking of moms, then there's just Grenadine.
Yeah, that was a big gap in Jovi's character also, being like, hey, let me go introduce you to your mom real quick, actually, though, because
Right.
she was like, I'm sending you home. Like, we're still enemies, but let me show you your mom.
Right.
Let me introduce your mom. I
Continue.
feel like we're jumping all over the plot, but
I know. I just keep thinking about things and I'm like,
I know.
because this book was chaos.
It was
and therefore
chaos.
this review is chaos because
Yeah.
you can't help but jump around.
Also, when you're pissed, you're gonna be messy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm messy right now because I'm mad.
Mm-hmm.
How about we talk about Acre and Jovi's reunion? He tells his dad he's trying to get Bo.
mm-hmm.
He tells his crew, well, he tells Irene that he's taking her home, but he tells Wells that he's going to go get Jovi.
Mm-hmm. And Wells is like, bro, what are you doing? You're going to take the queen?
Or actually, no. I thought what he told Wells is that he's going to go ask for Maylee's support against his dad.
Yes.
That's what he does.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, he's lying to 5 different people.
Right. Because Jovi, when they meet, Jovi like only talks to Wells and Olivia.
Yeah. Also, how pointless was that? Oh my
Dumb.
God.
Mm-hmm.
Get on your knees.
Yeah, she
And
should have
he's
like
like,
drowned.
I'm
him.
hard.
I like it. I like that I'm on my knees
Oh
for
yeah.
her.
Oh yeah.
And then he's never on his knees again.
I didn't like that.
I didn't either.
I didn't like that groveling. That was weird.
I didn't either.
I
Yeah,
didn't
and
like
then we
it.
find out that she's actually the queen.
Right.
Yeah.
Because her mom did a secret ceremony a year ago.
Yeah, and
they've
for
been keeping
why?
it under
Like, do we
wraps.
actually know
totally
why
forgot
that
about that.
was?
No. Because her mom, I
Her
guess,
mom
was
just
ready.
wanted her to control the armies.
No.
Her mom didn't want her.
Jovi asked for the crown.
Exactly, that's what I meant to say. Jovi, her mom
Yes.
wasn't ready to retire. Jovi was like, "Give this to me. Let me lead
Let
the
me have
armies."
legitimacy.
Yeah,
Is pretty much what it was. You have not been raised to be a queen.
literally.
Like at this point.
Yeah.
Like, how do you know what you're doing? How do you know how to lead an army? How do you know how to be a queen?
mm-hmm. She didn't believe she was the princess until what, 4 years ago?
Yeah. Girl, you're still an urchin, remember?
I'm such an urchin.
I'm
Yeah.
such an urchin. Me on Urchin Row.
I just have to take a really fantastic bath in my clawfoot tub while all you poor bitches sleep in the mud. I'll be back. Like, okay.
The whole time that Acre was in Maylee was just stupid.
It was pointless. So pointless. So pointless.
She was like, one of my soldiers died, so I'm going to put you in his old house by the sea where you can easily escape. Like, no one's going to be watching you. We're just going to put you there until we can send you back in a few days. Which, why did you keep him for a few days? Nobody knows. I don't know. And she's like, I'm going to ignore you. Like, I'm going to go have a little meeting with my mom and my dad that I don't ever acknowledge that he's my dad, and Frederick and Bo. They have like a little meeting.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Speaking of dads, isn't
Where's my dad?
I'm all alone. I'm too small to be on my own. I've never seen that. It's from the
The
Finding Nemo musical.
Oh my.
Where's my dad?
Anyway.
He's very talented, that young man.
That young man.
He
We're talking about dads.
We're talking about dads. You're like,
oh
talking about
yeah.
dads.
Speaking of fathers, Jovi's dad, is he the reason why she got sent to Alaha? He
Mhm.
sent her
Yes.
to Alaha. Do we
Another-
know why?
An absolute BS plot thing again.
Yes.
It was like, I need to protect Jovi. I
Yeah,
need
but
to
from
protect
what?
Exactly.
From Acre's dad.
Because they were betrothed? Like,
And
no,
so-
I don't
I thought it
know.
had something to do
was,
with that.
She was a literal child. Apparently her dad was just insane and being like,
Wait.
I'm kidnapping my own daughter and sending her to Alaha.
Because he thought
because
she was.
has magic and I want to protect her. No, but that was absolutely madly stupid. Your
I
dad
think-
is just scared that you're gonna be hurt one day, so
I
I'm gonna
think it was
kidnap
'cause-
you.
I think it was because he knew that Acre's dad could steal people's magic.
I think you're right, but that's still stupid.
It is still stupid.
That is still absolutely ridiculous.
It is still stupid because wouldn't you think that instead you would tell your match or whatever that Acre's dad is doing this rather than just like shipping him off?
All
and
of
then
this could have
also-
been prevented with like a couple good conversations.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then the fact that Jovi's mom kills her own match.
Yeah, apparently she hated him all along. Like, oh, I slept with your father. It was like a moment of weakness. I actually hate him.
I've
And I'm
always
in
been in
love
love
with
with
the-
your
Yeah.
stepdad.
Yeah.
Because Acre's like, she won't kill me, and Jovi's like, well, she killed her own, so
Yeah.
she's not gonna have a problem killing you.
Yeah.
Also, what happened to mates being like super rare?
Right.
Everyone had a mate.
yeah.
Acre's dad had a mate.
Yeah.
Jovi and Acre are mates. And then
Wells
her
and
mom
Olivia are-
and then
yeah.
her mom and the random king dad were
It's,
mates.
The random
it gives
king
me like
dad.
very similar vibes of Fourth Wing, where like having 2 signets is very rare, and then the 3rd book comes out and like half of everybody has them.
Yeah.
Like it loses its rarity.
Yeah.
And it loses its like value to the reader, where you're
Mhm.
like, oh, it's just whatever.
Yeah.
Now, I guess.
Yeah. Also, like, what are the odds that Messer and Aurora are going to be mates?
Oh, yeah.
Probably,
no,
for
totally,
sure.
totally.
Now all I'm thinking about is that fucking threshing book, bro.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. I honestly don't want to read it.
I don't either.
I'm not going
I
to.
don't give a fuck.
Me neither.
Surely I'm not going
Everyone's
to.
like, oh, Liam. But
Great. He's already dead.
Yeah.
Like, awesome. It's gonna be him walking the. I don't
you
care.
know his ass is coming back to life, probably.
Yeah, that's actually gonna be. That's gonna be
Yeah.
Violet's 3rd signet, is that she can bring people back to life. That's how the 4th book's gonna go.
Her 3rd signet. I'm
Yeah.
it's
dead.
crazy.
I actually look forward to that book so much solely because I can't wait to hate it.
That's how I felt about this one.
Honestly, yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm so excited for her to like disappoint me.
Yeah, reading out of spite.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Which is what I'll do when she releases the book about Messer and Aurora.
Mhm.
I'm reading it out of spite.
And I hope that you hate it so much that I have to hate it.
But
and
here's
read
the
it.
Yeah.
thing. Messer has been probably my favorite character.
That's true. Me
So
too.
like there will be some, unless if she totally butches his character, which God, there's
She
all the
will.
opportunity in the world.
She will. Aurora offers nothing, so I'm not excited about Aurora. at
Yeah.
all.
yeah. Yeah, wasn't she supposed to be some like badass?
Yes.
Like some badass me?
Yes,
Set
like
off
this
the
huge war-
bomb.
yes.
Yeah. And then she shows up with Kai and she's like this timid little bean.
Mhm.
Right. Which
Little
because
bean.
everybody's now assuming that she's being
Yeah.
Abused.
influenced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Back on track.
Sorry.
No, it's
Sorry.
okay. We're jumping everywhere, but it's
Their
okay.
their reunion was anticlimactic.
Absolutely. He meets
like-
his mom and he does nothing with that.
Yeah, the
Other than admit, oh yeah, my dad is a bad person.
my dad kind of sucks, and it took me
Dude,
seeing my crippled
yeah.
mother to know that.
Took you. War could have ended
Yeah.
if you would have just
Yeah.
had this conversation.
And then the whole
Grenadine's still
entire
a
thing about
bitch.
his mom like leaving without him was also kind of crazy, but
Yeah, like she's a bitch too. I
Yeah.
mean, she always was, but like, damn, you
Yeah.
suck.
Everybody
yeah.
in this book fucking.
and then
sucks.
this
Yeah.
whole entire time she's like, I just didn't want you to see me like this. That's why I didn't tell you I was alive. You
because I'm
vain ass.
crippled.
Yeah.
Apparently, she didn't even want him. Like, she never wanted a son or something. Like, she never wanted children.
Yeah, I never
Am
even
making
wanted
that up?
you.
Oh, it was Acre. Acre was like, oh, it's sad seeing my mom like this, but she never really was in my life. My mom never like really cared about me. Like, my mom
Yeah.
never like took care of me or anything. You guys remember this?
Yeah, because
Mhm.
didn't.
he had no
he thought-
emotional
he
attachment to
also
his
thought
mom
she
in
was
general.
dead.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, of course she's not gonna be around.
Yeah, he was like, whenever my mom died, I didn't really cry about it.
Yeah.
She wasn't involved in my life. And then apparently seeing his mom all decrepit and hearing what his dad did just like was like, oh my gosh.
It was
Yeah,
so
my
traumatic
dad
for
kinda
him.
Yeah.
sucks.
Yeah.
Huh.
Sure.
Convenient.
This
Everything's
book also,
convenient.
This book
Yeah.
also just would have been better if it would have just been like the kids just trying to dethrone everybody.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that was like kind of the plot, but she like missed what it could have been.
Yeah, I know. That was the whole entire point, was that all of them were going to be dethroning their parents, which
Yeah.
ended up sort of happening, except for the fact that Jovi's already the queen,
And Kai's still alive.
and we like Jovi's mom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And like, how is Irina going to get the crown from her parents? Like,
Yeah.
all her parents were doing was trying to follow through on an engagement.
Yeah.
Right.
And Strauss was like fine. They were good people. Like,
Yeah.
other than their border, fighting
Yeah.
against Melee.
Yeah.
Oh, and apparently them being like barbarians. and, like,
Vikings or whatever.
Totally like brutal people. Just
Yeah.
barbaric.
Viking land on the
Yeah.
sea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Animalistic. Oh, that was
Ugh,
weird.
That was so
Why
weird.
did she paint them out to be like
I
that?
don't know. So I think the one of the very first things that like actually pissed me off was that when Acre kidnaps Jovi,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because I was like, this was his moment of betrayal, where like his POVs up until this point, you're like, so you're also an idiot. Like, she tried to do the exact same thing with Acre that she did with Jovi at the end of book 1.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like where she's like trying to be misleading this whole time and having him be so conflicted and having him like hate her and having him try to battle with himself of whether or not he actually wants her back. And then he shows up, there's that like weird threesome thing. And then all of a sudden it's like, no, my whole entire purpose for coming here at all was to get Jovi.
and Frederick's in on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because he's like selfish. He's like,
Yes.
she needs to be near me.
That's
I have to
literally
protect her.
that's all it is he's being selfish and
And
he
listen,
literally wants to own her as like a possession.
Like,
I love a
literally.
selfish man, but there is definitely a line between a selfish man and somebody who just wants to own somebody.
Yeah.
As a
And then he literally walked her around on a rope.
Yep.
Literally.
Yep. And chained her to the bed.
And
She was
chained her to
like
the
this
bed.
the whole time.
Yeah.
And she was okay with it. She's
Yeah.
like,
I won't. I'll
understand.
pretend.
Yeah. I understand that I need to be chained up. Yeah, that's okay.
It's okay. Chain me to the bed.
You can leave me here with my pet cat, Messer, or whatever he was.
Yeah. And
That was
then-
actually one of the best parts
It
was when
was.
Messer pretended to be
purring.
Wells.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh.
That too.
Remember when Wells like comes on the boat and then Acre's like, I literally know you're not Wells because I can smell your blood.
Again. And he brings that up. He brought that up once in Metal Slinger and once in
What
here.
is it about being a metal slinger that makes you able to smell?
'Cause you have
I thought it was the
the
point was that you
iron. You
sling.
have iron in your
The
Yeah, but
iron in your blood.
imagine if you could sling their iron in their blood.
Ooh,
That
like
see that is
blood
exact-
bending in
Yeah.
That would have
Avatar?
been like. Could you imagine if he could like metal sling on the battlefield and he just looks at somebody and they just like
No, I
like
know.
explode?
I know, like in freaking The Boys.
Yeah,
there's
exactly.
somebody who
Yeah.
can pop people.
Yeah, exactly.
No, yeah, like, have you guys seen Avatar: The Last Airbender?
Yeah.
No.
Katara can like blood bend.
Oh my god, we should go see that movie tonight.
Wait, is it already out?
It's out. It came out.
I would love to see it.
We should go see
No, Andrew would be pissed if I saw it without him.
Anyway, but yes,
Um,
exactly. Just
Yeah, like if he could like blood bend, poof people, like that'd be
people.
epic. But
Yeah.
no.
He has heightened senses in no other area. Like I don't understand why he can smell it. Like what is
Yeah.
and he only chooses. Well, first
Jovi
of all,
can't smell light.
Madeline.
photosynthesis. But in the first book, he talks about how good Jovi's blood smells. He
Mm.
never talks about it again. And then the only
Iron.
other person that he smells is quote unquote Messer. So I'm like, he also could have used that to his advantage too.
Yeah.
Again.
At literally any point. Okay.
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 So if he can smell blood, how did he not know that Messer was the bird back in the first book when they were on the boat?
I thought he did. No.
I don't think he did.
He didn't. Did he meet Messer though?
Yes.
On Alaha?
Yeah.
Yes.
Plot hole.
Plot hole. They're everywhere.
That would have been so
This
epic
plot
if
ship
he
is
could like
sinking.
spy on people. Like all the times he was wandering around the palace being like, oh, I'm like sneaking around, like nobody can find me, I have to use a secret entrance. You could smell people,
Right.
like
Yeah.
being like, oh, okay, I'm safe, like I don't smell any people around me.
God.
Oh, that would have been cool.
God.
Missed opportunity.
God. Okay. So
I'm angry.
they travel. They've kidnapped Jovi.
Jovi's okay with it for some reason.
He can't look at her because of that oath that he took, which was I actually thought that was really funny.
yeah, that was
I was like, you know what? Actually, screw you because you can't even look at her because you took this oath to protect her.
Mm-hmm. I kind of liked how tortured he was in
I
that
did
moment.
too. I did too.
Yeah.
Ah, he's so hot and bothered.
Oh, I'm so hot and
Ah,
Yeah.
miserable.
He's so
Mhm.
tall, dark, and depressed.
Yeah.
Is he tall and dark?
No.
No.
And is he blonde?
no, he's not
He's
blonde.
not
It's
blonde.
not. In my head, I pictured him as blonde.
Really.
Yeah, because main male characters that I don't like, I picture them as blonde.
Interesting. I was
Wow.
picking him. I was picturing him to be like as skinny as Matt, like just like very tall and
Like really
skinny.
stringy. Like,
Yeah.
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 Okay.
That's what I was.
I
Picturing.
mean, Matt's very handsome. So
he is very handsome, but like I'm picturing just like this very tall, skinny
Mhm.
guy.
Yeah, I thought that journey of theirs, and then they go to that abandoned house, I guess.
Oh yeah, and it's
And there's the
winter,
pigeons.
and she sends a message
She
to her
Yeah.
mom.
Yeah,
She sends a message to her mom to be like, "I'm okay."
Yeah.
But
And
then she
puts
and then
in
they
her
spread
code.
propaganda.
Oh, and he can see the metal
On
on
the-
her pen,
yes, from the lead.
and he's like, "I knew what you wrote all along."
Again, totally could have been using this to his advantage.
That's an epic skill. Why wasn't that used more?
Why is he like this? Why?
Again, it's another plot point, just like in the first book where Jovi was like, I don't believe in magic. And then the next page, she was like, magic is incredible.
Yeah.
And then in this book, it's the same thing where she's like, I don't think a pigeon can do this. Wow, a pigeon can do this. I'm like,
Yeah.
so what do you think that they can, or do you think that they can't? Like, where are we
Mm-hmm.
at right now?
What was the message she sent? It was some kind of secret message to her mom.
I don't remember what she sent to her
she
mom.
said, get the armies ready
Yes.
to come into...
Get ready to
Messer's
invade.
She
Yeah.
pretty much was like, I'm Gucci, we Gucci, let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, tonight we ride.
Tonight
Ride.
we ride.
We ride at
Now.
dawn.
Yeah.
We ride now.
Yeah, and then they spread that propaganda. I don't remember what they said though.
That the king of Aloha, or whatever,
Oh,
was wanting Acre's dad's
yes,
throne.
Ren's dad and Acre's dad were
No,
in
Kai's
cahoots. That's what I meant.
Not that they were in cahoots.
Ren.
dad. That they were,
Ren wanted... Ren and Acre's dad were in cahoots. Yes.
yes.
Ren and Acre's dad were working together to defeat Acre's kingdom's rival. This was like a total secret plot. But the propaganda that Acre and Jovi sent out was, oh, Ren actually wants to take control of Acre's kingdom. What was Acre's
which
kingdom?
was true.
No, I think Ren wanted to take control of the whole continent, no?
Yeah, I think
Yes.
so.
I think he wanted like complete power.
Yeah. Kai was like pissed off about it, no?
So he said,
Because Kai was like, I want control of the whole continent.
right, which is why he
Kai wanted Kenta, is what it was.
right, which is when Acre gave him his crown.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The bargain was that Kai was going to give Kenta his army
Mm-hmm.
to fight on their side against
Mm-hmm.
Ryson and the
Mm-hmm.
ogres.
Mm-hmm.
God, they should have killed him.
So stupid. Why do you need a 2,000 person army from this little tiny island? Like, what good does that do you?
If House of the Dragon has taught me anything, it's if your enemy presents themselves, kill them. They don't deserve. You got just
Mm-hmm. I agree.
chop their
End
head
it.
off.
End it while you can.
That's right.
Yeah, and then we have this scene where they literally go on a little beach vacation.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, let's go to our beach house and have a reunion.
And I can swim and warm my water.
I missed the ocean.
I miss the ocean. I'm so cold. Let me just light the water
Yeah.
and make it warm.
Yeah.
What a
Fucking
useless,
stupid.
what a useless piece of
Mhm.
character. Honestly, that whole entire scene was just really ultimately for them to reconcile.
Literally.
Because that's when
Yes.
they get back together,
Mhm.
right? Is when they're at the beach house.
Is that when he like makes soup and she like comes in and she's like, "Did you poison it?"
And then they
Mhm.
drop
And-
her soup all over
Yeah.
the stairs. And then
Yes.
they're like fucking it.
Yeah. Yeah, because he's like, "There's a bath waiting for you upstairs."
And then everyone's upstairs being like, oh, damn.
Oh,
they're all
God, here
sti-
they
they're
go
fucking around on
again,
the
God.
stairs.
Frederick's like,
Yeah.
Hey, can I join?
Yeah, literally.
"One more time, guys,
Hey,
Maybe.
for the round, for the road.
Oh,
you guys didn't invite me? That's
Let's
cool.
go. Let's go.
That's
and
cool.
I'll watch.
Irene is like, yeah, it's okay.
Yeah,
I'm a
right.
girl's girl.
Yeah,
I'm a girl's girl.
He gave me that guy after our wedding night, so like it's tit for tat.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
gave me my lover as a present.
Yeah.
My
How sweet of
concubine.
him.
What
My
is he? A
concubine.
consort or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we can honestly skip over. I don't have any strong feelings about that. I would rather move back to when she pretends to be a prisoner and they get to the palace. Because that's when we find, I mean, we already knew about the plot point about the King of Kenta is stealing people's powers.
Mm-hmm.
Like we learn about that. Or we already knew about it. And then we see it in action for the first time. And the point where it like becomes really big plot point, in my opinion, is that Acre's being taken into his father's like council.
Yes.
And he's saying, and your initiation, bitch,
Starts
is you
now.
stealing somebody's powers. What do you mean that Acre can read minds? And they just totally ignore it.
Doesn't use it.
He doesn't use it. He doesn't use it.
doesn't use any of his
And Jovi's like,
powers.
I don't want to know.
He's not tortured by it at all.
No, he's not like Bo. He's like, oh, I have a headache. Maybe for a day.
What? That other man that had that power was torture.
Yeah.
He
torture.
hated his life.
Yeah.
He was like okay with dying.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was like, please.
Yeah. Take this away from me.
But he was more than he was also a seer. No.
No, I think he just could read minds.
I thought he
No,
was also.
he had a theory. He had a theory
Ah,
about
that's
what
what
was
it was.
gonna happen.
Okay.
Yeah, because he had somehow conveniently been in the right place at the wrong time, overhearing the
Yes.
conversations.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
of,
Yes. Acker met with the seer though.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah,
Okay,
his,
yes.
Bo's mom.
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Sorry.
that actually, I think more than anything in the entire book, I posted a status update on Goodreads. I was like, you've got to be kidding me.
Yeah, that was BS.
You've got to be kidding me. Because why in the actual hell would you give Acre this power in him not to exploit it
Yep.
at all?
He would immediately be able to read his dad's own plans.
Yes.
And also read Kai's plan when they met. Also see
Well,
if Jovi...
I think that
he had that power.
He had
at
that power when they met.
time.
He
Yeah.
also could have seen Jovi's like true... Yes, he did.
No. Because they meet with Kai and then they go
Oh,
back
you're
to
right.
Kenta.
You're right.
Okay, I keep thinking...
But I think regardless, like, people can have mental shields. That's the thing, is that most of them know how to protect, like, have mental shields.
Yeah.
But regardless, the only time he uses it to his benefit is on, like, a maid.
Yes.
Yeah.
And, like, he and Jovi completely ignore it. He's like, yeah, this happened. And she's like, uh-huh.
Yeah, they're like, this is so dangerous. We have to, we cannot allow this magic stealing to happen. But Acre has it, and it's okay.
Yeah, but Acre...
He has, like, the most powerful ability now, but it's okay.
And we're not going to tell anybody.
Yeah.
And we're not going to tell anybody. But now you can read Jovi's mind, and it's cool, and it's fine, and we're not going to talk about it. Like, we don't need to.
Yeah. That's fine.
That's when I lost, like, all faith in romantasy. I already had 0. But I'm like negative faith now. Like
negative faith.
God,
negative
he
faith.
could have been so lethal. Like, again, Metal Slinger making people explode and also reading their minds. Like,
yeah.
God!
Anticipating, like, okay, in the battle, like, anticipating what people's next moves were.
Yes!
Yeah.
I know.
And all of a sudden he has this incredible, like, control over this power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because what do you mean?
No issue.
Yeah.
No,
light work.
Yeah, light work, no reaction. It's all good.
Yeah.
That whole, like, metal stealing plot line was thrown in there out of nowhere. It annoyed me because right off the bat we see Acre's dad with multiple powers and we have no explanation for, like, why.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, not only does he have his magic back, which, by the way, who did he steal that from? Who did he steal the ability to influence from?
And fire.
Because you remember how we talked about that in the first book? We're like, wait, is
no, that's, you know why?
Whatever?
Yes.
You know why? It's because that's why he won't let anybody in Kenta who's, like, common born, who has powers. That's why he says you have to, like, kill them.
What?
Is because he's taking them and stealing all of their powers.
Yes.
Yes, yeah.
But I wondered.
Oh, we
he
were
had
wondering
the
how he
power
got it.
of influence in the first book.
Mm-hmm.
Who did he kill to get that power?
Probably some rando.
But that power was so unique to Ren and Kai.
Was it?
Exactly.
I don't know. It was like their bloodline, you know? Like,
I don't know.
Right, because we had talked about what if they're actually brothers.
brothers.
Which would have been sick.
That would have been cool.
But
apparently he just killed this nondescript person.
Instead, they're only Eskimo brothers.
Yeah. How did Acre's dad die again? Ren killed him.
Yes.
Yes. Because Ren, like, tried to take over the council or whatever, and he poisoned Jovi or Acre, or somebody was unconscious.
He influenced everybody. Or Jovi was.
Yes.
Jovi was, like, passed out on the table.
Yeah. Yes,
Oh, shocker.
She was drugged.
Oh.
She was drugged.
Chloroformed once again.
Yeah, that was after Messer died.
Right.
Yes.
It was so poorly written also. We're gonna get you out of the city. Let's run. I'm a little bird. Yeah.
Oh no, Master.
Oh, now I'm passed out.
Aurora, save me.
And I'm on the table and Ren is influencing everybody.
And now some young boy is gonna heal me.
Yeah.
Nurse me back to health in bird form.
And then I'm gonna leave him. Fuck you, Messer. You can't. That poor boy.
That poor boy nursed you back to health.
Poor boy. And you what? You give him nothing.
Yeah, literally nothing.
Yeah. I did like the turn of events where Ren was then the bad guy, like the ultimate bad guy, and then it's like, we have to kill Ren. Ren is running away. And he wanted to kill Jovi. Like, he was so intent on killing Jovi.
Because Jovi was queen.
Yeah.
I guess.
And he wanted to control the world.
I feel like it.
What is Ren's motivation?
Exactly.
I feel like it was
Revenge?
Kai, though. Like, I feel like it was...
Kai knew that his dad had this motivation
Yeah.
Right.
to rule the
And
whole
so
continent.
he used
but
it-
he's like, my dad's a bad guy.
Right.
Kai only wanted Kenta.
Right, but then he was like, well, if you...
Kenta
I
and
could
Ryson.
Yes, he wanted
he
those
was-
two territories.
And he was like, well, I could kill my dad, and then it's all me.
Yeah.
Ha ha ha.
It's like, we need more territory. That the Aloha people are so abundant.
We suffered. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're not abundant because you literally wouldn't let people procreate.
That's
Hey,
the
it's
same
like,
thing.
the people of Aloha are so abundant. There's no room in these cities.
Yeah, what do you mean?
We have to control both territories.
What do you mean? There's a whole forest that Jovi killed. Go live there.
right.
The craziest thing is when he made that guy like just kill himself. Where he was like, stab yourself in the neck.
Yeah, that was
Jovi
kind of
like,
nuts.
he was like, okay. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Scary.
And then that fuck ass battle happens.
Yeah, the
PMO.
last 30 pages of the book.
And then she,
Third of all.
she runs into an Aloha soldier that she used to work with, and they are enemies. Utter enemies. Even though she completed the task that Aloha wanted
Guys,
all
I need to leave this
along
podcast. I'm
to
so
get
upset.
she completed the ultimate task of getting Aloha on land, and this soldier was like, you are the ultimate traitor bitch.
Yeah.
She's like, don't kill him.
Where did that come from?
Unknown.
I thought Jovi just parted ways from Kai and them because she's like, I regret my decision. I should have tried to talk to Acre. So I've distanced myself from Aloha. I'm in Melee. I'm queen now. This is my new place. Why is she utter enemies?
I kind of assumed that it was still like Ren's influence over everybody that was fighting against them. That was the only way that it, like, I don't know.
Wasn't the whole purpose of Kai's meeting with them to get Kai's armies
Yes.
to fight for Kenta?
Yes.
Why was Aloha fighting Kenta? Why was that Aloha soldier trying to kill Jovi? What was the switch up? Where did that happen?
I don't know, because they view it as she betrayed them. Because she used to be in the army. She used to be one of the guards.
I know, but like, how did she betray them? She got them on land. He was just like, you're a traitor. You
Also,
left
can we talk about
Aloha."
why did Aloha even need guards?
Exactly.
No, exactly.
Exactly.
Because like, what were they gonna
Nobody gives
like?
a
You know what they
fuck
should
about
have is a
Aloha.
navy.
Yeah.
But why do they need an army? You don't share any borders with nothing. You live in the water.
I guess for eventually when they did get on land
For
and
the
wanted
giant
to win.
squids, Madeline. For the giant squids.
Fuck the squids.
Fuck the squids. It's for the giant squids.
Oh gosh. The battle really, that was a dumpster fire. That was like actually horrible.
This whole book.
It's so crazy when you read like the last book of Zodiac Academy, how that battle
I
is
haven't
like
read it.
okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, the battle was actually
The battle
Meadow.
is like 200 pages worth, and it is like you're just like totally like in it, you know?
Mhm.
In this I was like, okay, this is the last 30 pages of the book. This is only a duology, so we're supposed to have a whole battle, resolution, and a happy ending within 30 pages.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand. And we also had an added chapter because now she's still writing more books.
Yeah. Such a crammed end.
It's
That was
so crammed.
horrible.
Yeah, I mean, as I
So
said, the last
crammed.
40% kind of just was a drag. It was
Yeah.
a slog to get through. I lost interest.
Yes.
I did consider giving it like a 1.25 because somehow I did actually devour this book. One star to me is like, this was trash and it has no redeeming qualities, but I was like, but somehow I still devoured it.
I devoured the first.
Maybe it was morbid curiosity.
I
Maybe
think
that's
for
all.
me, I devoured the first half because I thought, oh, answers.
Yes.
And
yes.
she dragged it out for so long. The suspense was killing me because I thought one of our predictions was gonna be right.
Mm-hmm.
I thought at least one has to be right.
Because we had so many.
Yeah, and I thought that we were clever. That's what bothered me the most, is because I was like, we're gonna get answers. Like eventually, I'm gonna have been right about something.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I kind of kept reading until we got to 60% and they like immediately reconciled, and I was like, okay, whatever,
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah.
It is super disappointing when you leave your viewers completely unsatisfied. And it's crazy because I read some 5-star reviews on Goodreads, and I was like,
Oh my god, what did they
gosh.
say?
hold on, there was one where I was like,
This is the best romantasy that I've read in years.
No, literally, somebody was like, I am on my knees. I was like, is this a joke?
All I want for these people that gave this book 5 stars is to go read a real good book.
No,
I want to
that's
change
what I want
your life.
for you.
Come and listen to this podcast, and we'll give you a real book. We'll change your life
Yeah,
if you think this was good.
yeah. This year alone, we've reviewed very good books. I
Mhm.
think
I agree.
for the most part, we have.
I can give you romantasies that are actually good. Go watch our Romantasy for Beginners
Yeah,
episode.
from last May,
Mhm.
May of 2025.
Someone gave it 5 stars, and don't talk to me. I'm going to give this book infinity stars. How am I supposed to rate this book only 5 stars? People are like, and that ending, excuse me, this is like, oh, apparently it's a planned trilogy now.
No, it's gonna be a separate duology for sure.
I don't know.
I don't know. She just said that this is a planned
Who?
trilogy.
Rachel?
No, this review. Without question, one of my favorite fantasy romance reads of the year. Girl, you need to read some better books.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Open
Can
your
you
eyes,
go-
please.
Can you go look at my status updates? I want to make sure there's not anything big that I missed. I highlighted stuff.
I did too. I saw.
I just saw that I highlighted things.
I have 23 highlights. Oh! Can I read you guys this quote?
Yeah.
Okay, 3% in. Acres POV. Many of them would skin a cat for a chance to be my concubine.
Yes, that's what it was. A concubine. Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
Gross.
And then is it ironic that Messer turns into a cat? Need I say less?
One of the things that we were wondering, where did he get blah 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 magic from, is that he stole Osiris's magic, which is Jovi's dad. And I think this whole time we thought that it was Jovi's mom that killed Jovi's dad. I think it was actually Kenta King. I think it was Acre's dad, and he stole Jovi's dad's magic. And for some reason, Jovi's mom just let everybody believe that. Maybe.
How? How? That makes no sense.
What does she benefit from that?
Ah.
Oh yes, I'll let my kingdom believe that I in fact killed my mate.
Also, how dumb is it that she never gets her memories back ever? I was like, hopefully by the end of the book, like, surely they'll all be unlocked.
Another opportunity with him being able to read minds. It would have been really sick if he would have been able to go in there and
her
unlock
memories?
it.
Oh my gosh, that's such a good point.
Guys,
Should we write a book?
Honestly, we could, and
We
it
could do
would
better.
be badass.
it would
Yeah.
do better than this. I have a few comments, like notes I left on highlights. Acres POV. It never occurred to me before, but the thought of the glass I possibly used to pleasure
Oh
my
my
match being in his
God.
hands has me seeing red. Do you guys remember that Acres' dad was gonna take Jovi as his bride?
Yes,
Wait, what?
You do not remember that?
No.
he talked about it in like the first.
That's why he wanted to keep Jovi in the palace when she first visited. He had like
Ew.
he
Yeah,
had talked
nasty.
about that. Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah,
What else did you highlight?
The dad's name was Edmund, by the way. What a horrible
Edmund.
name. The original plan, here it is. The original plan was this. Jovi says, I was supposed to overthrow Edmund and take the crown, holding the throne until Kai could usurp his own father, Ren, and make his way to land with the rest of Alaha. The perfect solution to all our problems if it went to plan. But my decision to not kill the king of Kenta ruined everything. So that was the plan. She was supposed to kill Edmund so Kai could take the throne of Kenta. Another quote. This is from Bo. I saw the deception in Joe's aura as soon as I laid eyes on her. Remember how we talked about that?
yes.
I was like, when
How
did
did she-
when did Bo switch sides?
Yes.
Apparently it was
right away.
right away. She
Yeah.
protected Messer when he was captured, protected Joe.
Yeah, a lot of unsatisfying character arcs in the end. Like, I really thought that Bo was going to end up with Messer.
I did too. We also like satisfying endings. We don't even really get a satisfying ending with Acre and with Joe. Like it's
Yeah.
just okay, they're together. Like we
Mhm.
don't get this like fabulous grandeur. Like
Well, I guess it's because it's going to be a trilogy now.
I don't know, but like
It
we
doesn't
don't
seem like
get
they'll be the
this
main characters.
fabulous grandeur like wedding or like anything. It's just like, will you marry me? And she's like, huh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like what?
Okay, this book. It's not good. Actually, this is the worst book I've read this year.
I think this is the worst book I've ever read in my life. I like read fan fiction. So like for me to say that, guys, this is it's bad.
What else you got?
The reason why Jovi's dad sent her to Alaha. Here's this quote. My father became fearful of Edmund's relentless pursuit of other gifts, and when I showed early signs of awakening, he took me to live with the Alaha, knowing Edmund would never leave land to look for me. It wasn't until years later that my mother found out he was responsible, and then he refused to reveal my location.
You're telling me that means that this whole time Meili knew that Edmund was stealing powers and they decided not to do anything about it?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
were just like,
They're just like, yeah, I guess I'll just do whatever the fuck
he's
he
the
wants. Like,
king.
no, you absolutely are an idiot.
Yeah.
You're so dumb.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's literally what people in positions of power and authority are supposed to do, is to protect their kingdoms. He's gonna coming for you. He's
Yeah.
gonna come for you.
Yep.
You share a border.
Barda.
You share a border. And you're not going to do anything about it? Yeah,
No.
you didn't deserve the crown anyways.
Yeah. Here's another explanation why Jovi took the crown from her mom. Because Chris refused to make an alliance with Jovi's mom.
Oh,
He
yeah,
would
she
only
agreed to
make
marry
it with
her,
Jovi.
right?
Because they're aunt and uncle.
Oh, yeah,
that's
it was
his
her
uncle.
Yeah. You're my
Unc.
niece. And then he ended up betraying her anyway.
Right. He also became kind of a worthless character.
Yeah.
Everybody, we hope that you also thought this book was garbage.
If you thought it was good, can you just tell us why?
Yeah. Thanks, guys, for coming to our TED Talk
Yeah.
about how shitty this book was.
This has been just absolute trash.
Thank you guys for having me once again. I'm really hoping next time I get to be on, it's a good
It's a
book
good
that
book.
we actually love.
How about, let's just wait until we get one of those.
Yeah.
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 Who knows when that may be?
Oh my god, should we Actor 6 or what? Except what if I hate Actor 6?
I hope not.
Guys,
I've
my
been
stomach is
thinking about
growling
that.
so much.
I know, mine is too.
I'm starved.
Thank you guys for having me.
No, thank you. Thank you so much.
Rachel Schneider, for giving us a shitty book to review.
I feel like we're so mean. I feel bad. Sort of. Poor
I
Rachel.
don't. Honestly, I don't.
I don't either.
Yeah.
Do better.
I feel bad for being so maybe like a little cruel sometimes. But at the end of the day, this was genuinely a reason why I think not everybody should be writers.
Yeah, she should have stayed an indie writer.
Yeah.
That's the one thing. I cannot believe this was picked up by a publisher.
Huge publisher.
Yeah. Well, I think it was picked up because everybody loved it.
Yeah.
It got picked up post having a lot of readers.
I said it last time. Book talk is a very dangerous place.
It is. We're de-influencing this book, although I don't think it needs much help being de-influenced. But all I have to say is that I had bad vibes about the first one. I was spot on.
And even as someone that enjoyed the first one relatively, like I could get through it, this book was just absolutely horrible.
Mm-hmm.
No redeeming qualities.
If you want to listen to a book review that's positive, go listen to our Perfect Storm episode. If you're looking for a good book to read. That's all we got, guys. Thanks for joining us, Jamie.
Thanks for having us.
Next time,
having me. Me and my split personalities. Thank you for having me. I love you guys so much.
We'll give you a book.
It was
good
a
book
pleasure to
read
be a
and
book
review.
out.
Woo! Our honorary
I
sister.
love being a book out. Yay!
Our honorary sibling. We will see you next time. I'm Madeline Book Out.
I'm Hannah Book Out.
And I'm Jamie Book Out.
And join us 2 Tuesdays from now for another episode where we'll talk about fantasy and romance in some regard. Follow us on TikTok and Instagram at Check This Book Out Pod. Join our Fable Podcast.
Fable Podcast.
Join our Fable Book Club where I don't know what month this will be posted, but we'll probably be talking about something super fun on there. And we will see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.